Hey friends, welcome to Carpooling with Jesus. Whether you're riding in the car to school, having some breakfast, or maybe heading to bed, I am so glad you're joining us today. I'm Pastor Justin, and we have been marching through stories in the Bible, stories that Jesus would have learned about when he was a kid. Today's story is from the book of Isaiah. Have you ever been asked to do something that felt really big, maybe bigger than you thought you could handle? Well, today's story is about someone who was given a big job from God. Even though he felt small, he said, "Here am I, send me." Let's dive in. Today's verse is from Isaiah chapter 6, verse 8. Then I heard the voice of the Lord saying, "Whom shall I send, and who will go for us?" And I said, "Here am I, send me." Isaiah was a prophet, which means he was someone God chose to share his messages with the people. One day, Isaiah had an incredible vision. He saw God on his throne, surrounded by angels, praising him. It was so powerful that Isaiah realized how small and imperfect he was. But instead of running away, Isaiah listened, and when God asked, "Who will go for us?" even though he didn't feel ready, Isaiah trusted God and said, "Here am I, send me." Isaiah knew God had an important job for him, to tell the people about God's love and God's truth. It wasn't always easy, but Isaiah trusted that God would be with him every step of the way. And guess what? God is with you too when he asks you to do something big. If Jesus was sitting in the car with you or at the table, he might say, "I love when you're willing to say yes to what God asks you to do." You don't have to be the biggest, the strongest, or the smartest. Just trust in me and I will help you. When you say, "Here am I, send me," you are showing great faith, and I will always be right beside you. So imagine this. Your teacher asks for a volunteer to read out loud in class. Your heart starts pounding. You want to raise your hand, but what if you mess up? That's how I felt when I was a kid, and honestly, I sometimes still feel that way. I wasn't always the best reader, and I would usually let other people volunteer first. But one day, I remembered Isaiah's story when I was sitting in class. And instead of hiding my hand and looking away, when the teacher asked for a volunteer, I took a deep breath and I raised my hand. I read the passage, and even though I stumbled on a few words, I did it. And guess what? My teacher was so proud of me. And when I told my mom that story after school, she was proud of me too. I learned that saying yes to something scary can lead to something amazing. So what about you? Is there something God might be asking you to do? Maybe helping a friend, or being kind to someone new, or standing up for what's right? This week, when you feel a little nudge in your heart, I want you to remember Isaiah's words, "Here am I, send me." Let's wrap up with our short Friday prayer. God, thank you for this week. Help us finish strong and bless our weekend with joy and rest. Remember, no matter where you are or how you're listening, God loves you. And parents, if you love this podcast, share it with some parent friends this weekend, or even your kid's pastor at church. We would love for other families to have faith-filled moments too. Here's today's question. Talk about it together before you move along in your day. What is one thing you can say yes to this week that will honor God? See you next week on Carpooling with Jesus.